Well, much has been made of the revelations about South African Airways contained in the state capture report. But what about regional connector SA Express? The airline has been in provisional liquidation since April 2020 after its business rescue process failed. The state capture report makes it very clear, however, that the seeds of its demise were planted years ago. It says until now, officials have been dragging their feet in prosecuting wrongdoers. Well, let's cross now to Heidi Giokos, who's had a good look at what's been going on there, and she has a good business sense, too, of how things started to deteriorate. Heidi, thanks for joining us. How was the Northwest government involved in the demise of SA Express?
It seems as though the Northwest government was approached back in 2015 to find ways to revamp the airports in the province, and there were about 4 airlines that were selected to go through a bidding process, but SA Express seemed to be the chosen airline, and this is where concerns were raised and there were red flags because there were no proper procurement processes followed for the selection of SA Express to be the preferred airline to be selected for these routes between Mahikeng and Johannesburg, as well as another city within the Northwest. There was no proper procurement processes, and the report clearly states, Annika, and I'm going to quote you, it says, the Commission investigated allegations that high-ranking officials in the Northwest provincial governments had colluded with SA Express to siphon millions of rands out of the Northwest provincial government's coffers in order to benefit themselves, their families, and the ruling party. And many people were wondering, how did another SOE like SA Express get into provisional liquidation? It's been in provisional liquidation for the past 2 years, and many were wondering how this happened. Well, this is how it happened. SA Express was being paid millions of rands to be the preferred bidder in the Northwest province to revamp the transport departments in the province. It was the preferred bidder, but there were no proper procurement processes that were followed. And the money that SA Express was supposed to be receiving, it was siphoned off into the provincial governments of the Northwest to specific individuals, to families, and to the ruling party, which is the ANC. The state capture report clearly shows that these SOEs were not used to benefit South Africans, were not used to provide the service intended for, like transporting and carrying a service and this route between Mahikeng and Johannesburg. It was rather used to benefit specific individuals, and the state capture report clearly identifies this.
Now, Heidi, going through this report, the brazen theft is actually astonishing, and one has to feel for the staff, too, at SA Express who are now without jobs. How was Acting DG Job Mokgoro implicated in all of this?
So Job Mokgoro was the acting director general in the Premier's office at the time. So this was between 2015. And he was basically responsible for signing off this over 200 million rand deal between SA Express and the Northwest provincial governments. But when he testified at the state capture inquiry, he said he doesn't understand why he should be held responsible because it was a deal that involved the Department of Transport and a number of other officials, and he was just the acting director general at the time. But the state capture report clearly says that he was the oversight here. He was supposed to say, this is a red flag contract. Why did SA Express get this contract and not other airlines, just because they're classified as a government-to-government deal? And the report clearly states it's a government-to-government deal. There were no proper procurement processes followed. So the report clearly highlights that there was oversight of Job Mokgoro. He did not look properly at this deal, and he just signed it off without truly understanding what he was signing. And this is something that we also spoke about yesterday, Annika, where Yake Kunana was also signing off deals and contracts costing state-owned entities instead of making them money. So we do see how Job Mokgoro and a number of other executive officials within the Northwest provincial government at the time knew of this deal and said nothing, allowed billions of rands to be lost. And as you mentioned, people have lost jobs because SA Express is in provincial liquidation for the past 2 years.